Hey team, how's it going? This is Sam. I'm just going to go over some of the things that I've been doing with my notes to give you some ideas and some suggestions. And then hopefully if you have any good suggestions for me, please post them below in the discussion board. But you'll notice that I take my discussion board, my Q&A, and my notes, and I combine them together. If you're ever interested in doing that, you can actually just go up to here and go to course plan and scroll down. I'm going to lesson 10. Your notes from instructor, you could edit those. And we'll select that activity. And then I come in here and I just make sure that it's not visible in my table of contents or visible to students. I just remove it from my table of contents so I don't see it. You don't have to do that. You could keep it in there and just say it's not visible to students. Then I go to my Q&A and then I rename it. So I come into here and I just change the name from being the Q&A or discussion board to being my notes and discussion board, as well as make sure that the settings are set. Then I come down to visibility and completion, and then I say I want to view the activity for 1 minute. So what that means is they won't be allowed to continue on in their course until they view my notes from instructor for 1 minute. So at least I know they saw it for a minute and they were kind of stopped in their progress. Even if they had gone into the dashboard and clicked on the assignment directly from there, they would be forced to go back to the notes for at least 1 minute until it was completed. And I do that for all my notes. And so by the time they've gone through a few weeks, they know exactly what's going on and they just have to sit there for a minute. But there's enough stuff in here that it forces them to be in here for a little bit of time. So then I put like most of my weeks I have like some sort of little comic that deals with the week, talking about graphs. I put in a little tip of the week, something just to keep them going. And then I talk about any portfolio assignments. The rubrics, I'm teaching Math 100L, so the rubrics are still different than Math 100G. Maybe we can change that in the future, but anyway, I put in the point totals just to kind of refresh their memory. Sometimes I put links to the activities in here, put hyperlinks. So if they click on those, it'll open it up in a new tab and then go that direction. And then, so I talk a little bit about whatever the portfolio item is for the week, and then some notes from certain themes that I might have popping up. And then I talk about my instructor session where I meet with them from 8 to 9. That's kind of like, if you will, my office hours, but then I just focus on my office hours being set by appointment. So they can click on one of these and set up an appointment at any time. Usually I say between 8 to 10 in the evening is when I can meet with them. And granted, while not all students take advantage of it. Anyway, the tool for this one right here is actually youcanbook.me. Youcanbook.me. And in there I developed that and then put the embed code inside here so they can actually just sign up, and then it'll put it into my Google Calendar. So kind of by appointment. And then I put together a little spiritual thought that I have in here with some links to some talks, or they can embed a video. Watch that here. And then I have different discussion boards like the water cooler where they can talk about things that are upcoming. Continuing the spiritual thought, we have some math discussion. And then if they have any certain questions, they can put them in here. So that's just kind of the way that I've organized it. I do know some people who put spiritual thoughts down inside one of these, but you can't really embed videos too well in these posts down here. So that's why I like to do it this way. Let me just show you real quickly if you've never embedded a video in, or if you have any questions about any of the values. These links are just pictures that I host at screencast.com, which is what Jing uses. And so I just put the pictures up there, and then I just find the code and put that in directly. If you're interested in that, let me know. Or embedding a video, let me just show you how to do that if you've never done that. I'm just going to go to YouTube. And type in, I'll just go to Studio C. Okay, so then I come in here and then I go to share, click on embed, copy this embed code. You can right click and copy it. Then go back in here, and if I edit this page, what I'm going to do is, let's say I want to insert it right here. So I'm going to push enter, and then I usually do something like this so that I can find this. Then I click on the HTML code. In here I push Command F. On a PC, you can push Control F, which is find, and then I find exactly what I've done. There's the video. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't work. So let me just show you. So you can just video like that, and then find, and then video, and there we are. So that's the video. So I can highlight that, and then push Control V, Command V on a Mac, or Control V on a PC, which pastes that embed code, and push update, and then that video is embedded right there. And so then you can either center that or do stuff like that. So anyway, that's one trick that I've done for that. I'll push done here. Anyway, and so each week I've kind of, one thing that I like to do is try and keep that as consistent as possible. And sometimes if you just refresh the page, yeah, those, sometimes that happens, and if you just kind of go around. Notice that they are now popping up. So I don't know why that is, but it must be just one of the way that's loading the page. Now they're starting to show up. Anyway, it's very similar in each of my weeks. I have some joke, tip of the week, anything about the portfolio, some quick notes. And so I follow the format so they start knowing exactly where to find stuff to where it doesn't take them as long. And I can really get the content through it. So it's kind of very consistent across the board. And so that's the important thing with notes, in my opinion, is to always have very consistent notes for students to follow the information. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell, kind of how I, sometimes there is a lot of stuff. I have, in my instructor, kind of done some supplemental material. And so that's where I put that stuff, either videos or the stuff up here, so that way it doesn't get too much into my notes. I even then, my notes, sometimes I think I could cut back on that a little bit in some areas, and so it can get a little wordy. I'm going to try, maybe one suggestion I was thinking of next year is putting together a little video clip and put that at the top. That just kind of hits some of the highlights, and maybe I can actually do a screenshot of myself. So that's probably what I'm going to set as my goal for next year. Anyway, please let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions for me. That'd be great as well. Thanks.